And I think a lot of this will play into what Johnny Morton sees for his offense in that wide receiver room. You know you have Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know you have the speedy Jamison Williams. You have Khalif Raymond. You have some other pieces there. Well, the X wide receiver, which we talked about so much this last offseason, is where Tim Patrick sort of filled that role. And again, this is a very much so a Price is Right situation. If he's willing to come back, he has a little bit of injury history. Did he get enough statistic-wise this season where some teams will offer him a bigger contract? If that's the case, I think the Lions can move on and maybe look to the draft or look to another free agent to fill that role. But I think we all like Tim Patrick, and I'd like to see him come back. Defensive lineman Levi Onwuzurike, who actually remained healthy in 2024 after his first 3 seasons, which were just destroyed by injuries and the back and all of those issues. And I think there may have been more for him this year if the rest of the defensive line had stayed healthy, if the rest of the defense had remained healthy. I think that would have given him so much more opportunity to show production, but they just didn't get that. And they needed more out of him this year in a case where they didn't have other players and they expected so much from him, and he just hasn't shown up. And I think because of that, the price is going to be too much for the Lions to justify bringing him back. Now the right guard, Kevin Zeitler, who was a big free agent acquisition for the Lions the last offseason and filled the Jonah Jackson departure role at guard, and I thought he filled in really well. More than really well. The Lions maintained one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in football when they were healthy. And I think he was even better than the opposite guard, Graham Glasgow. And that's really the question. Are the Lions willing to pay another 1-year deal? I don't think you give him a multiple-year deal because of his age. Of course, Carlton Davis. And I thought he filled in so well, and it was exactly what the Lions needed at a cornerback 1 this year. And as long as he was healthy, he was the perfect fit for the Lions and Aaron Glenn's defense. And moving forward, again, with Kelvin Sheppard filling in that familiarity role, I expect that Carlton Davis could play that same role again. I think the only knock on Carlton Davis is that he was again injured this year. We know what's up with the jaw. Does that allow him to start next season, or is there a delay to him coming back? But if the Lions are comfortable with that, if they like where his rehab is at, they certainly like the production on the field. He's got the length, he's got the speed, he's willing to come up and tackle and play in the run game. There's so many good things about Carlton Davis, and then they can continue to build the depth behind him with the young guys, Terrion Arnold, Linus Rakestraw, and what I would expect to be other talent brought in at cornerback. So again, I think the Lions, if they're willing to spend the money, if the price is right for the right amount of years, I would not go longer than 2 years for Carlton Davis. I would bring him back.